All right. Testing one, two. Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Cool Beans Hot Stuff. Today is Conspiracy Theory Thursday, which means we are going to be talking about a conspiracy theory, if you didn't guess that. Uh, every Thursday, I like to sit and kind of go through, not necessarily my favorite conspiracy theories, because to be honest, I don't really have any favorite conspiracy theories. I'm not really a conspiracy theorist. But I know a lot of people who are, and when I said I was going to do my stream and I needed an idea for Thursdays, somebody mentioned Conspiracy Theory Thursdays, and everybody else I asked about it said it was a good idea. Got a lot of votes in my circle of friends and family. So I said, okay, fuck it. I'll go ahead and do a conspiracy theory every Thursday, spend about 2 hours going over one. And it's been interesting. I've only been doing the streaming for about a month now. This is going to be my fifth week. I think this is actually my fourth Conspiracy Theory Thursday. I didn't, one of those Thursdays, I was out of town for Easter. So this is only my fourth Conspiracy Theory Thursday. So I'm still kind of getting the hang of it. You know, definitely getting the hang of that mute button though, man. My streams are officially burp free after a month of practicing. But my mom will be proud. But I've noticed when I'm trying to research these conspiracy theories, the only thing that I really find is, if the conspiracy theory is true, then I end up finding a whole bunch of articles on how it was in fact true and it was proven true and this, that, and the other thing. And, it's in, then I get the whole story and it makes it a lot easier to research. But those are all past conspiracy theories. If I look for any modern day conspiracy theories, all I can really find is articles discussing how it's definitely not true and everyone who believes it is an idiot. And that's about it. So it makes it really difficult to find information about the conspiracy theory that isn't full blown just spun in that direction of, nope, it's not happening and you're stupid if you think it is. And which, of course, it's like, I think most of the people who like the conspiracy theory type stuff, they don't want you telling them that they're an idiot because they're interested in this kind of stuff, right? I don't think it's so I don't want to throw up those articles. Um, but I'm working through it. I'm working through it. I don't know why I brought that up, but I'm trying to find some good sources for good conspiracy theory related information. Maybe hopefully here soon we'll get some actual streamers in the live stream that can give me some pointers on where I can go for this sort of information. Usually my cutie pie is joining us in the chat room, but I think she's taking a nap right now. She had a busy day today. She was up early, so she's taking a nappy poo. And so it's going to be just me here today. If you are watching this on YouTube, thanks for checking it out, and I hope you enjoy the content. If you do, please like and subscribe, and check out some of the other conspiracy theory videos that I have on my channel. I do have a really good one that I actually really enjoyed doing, which was conspiracy theories that ended up being true. Really easy to research, a lot of fun to research, a lot of appalling shit there. So go check out that video. That's already up on my channel. There's a couple other ones. Oh, the Large Hadron Collider. That was kind of an interesting one. It was a little bit of a fucky video. It was one of my first attempts, and I didn't have all the information really organized correctly. And then my first one was, Dead Internet Theory. And I guess that one was interesting too. I've strayed away from doing some of the more, what do you say? The controversial conspiracy theories, right? The ones that tend to piss everybody off. Because there's a lot of them out there that if I mention it, it's like, whoa, everybody's angry. I tend to stray away from those since I'm just getting kind of like my bearings. I'm just putting the ground beneath my feet. I haven't ever streamed or made a video in my life up until a month ago, right? So this is all new territory for me. So I'm just kind of fucking winging it and seeing how it goes. I always wanted to do this, but I really never knew what to do it about. And then it kind of clicked. I was like, I'll just do it about everything that I enjoy. Me researching, I spend time doing that every day, anyways. So I'll just live stream myself, kind of going through some research. And so we'll see what that evolves into. But in the meantime, yeah, I'm still kind of working through stuff. I do have some plans at a later date to do some of those more controversial conspiracy theories. So if you are a conspiracy theorist or a conspiracy theory fan, you just like to hear about this kind of shit, I will be throwing up some of the more crazier conspiracy theories probably here in about a month because I already have ideas for next month and none of them are too crazy. But for this month, most of the conspiracy theories I have for you are really good, fun ones, as is today. If you didn't see, obviously, if you're on YouTube, you saw the title of the video. Nicolas Cage is a vampire. That's the conspiracy theory today. And it is, in fact, a conspiracy theory. There was supposedly back in the day, I think it was around 2007, but we'll get the right date here in a minute, people who thought Nicolas Cage was a vampire. And how could they not? Here's the proof right here. Solid evidence. You see that? That's Nicolas Cage? No, it's not Nicolas Cage. That's some random ass dude from Tennessee that looks strikingly like Nicolas Cage. Although I don't know if it's the angle his head is tilted at or if he's just got this giant lump on the side of his head. He's got a goofy shaped head, which is saying a lot because I feel like Nicolas Cage already had a goofy shaped head. Now it's like Nicolas Cage with extra goofiness added to the right side of his head. So but that is not Nicolas Cage, in fact. So, where did that photo come from? Well, let's go ahead and read about it, all right? Let's jump in. So, a few weeks ago, let's see where a few weeks ago was. Date, time, date. Put your date on here. 2011. That's it. Okay. So, a few weeks ago, back in 2011, when the first set of photos from Baz Luhrmann's adaptation of Great Gatsby went online, it came to our attention that Leonardo DiCaprio had discovered the fountain of youth, emerging younger looking than ever before. It now appears, with thanks to THR for the tip-off, that he isn't the only one who has ways of delaying stopping the aging process. With proof now arriving on eBay that another huge star, Nicolas Cage, is in fact a vampire. I kid you not. On eBay, an eBay seller who goes by the name Jack Moore has put up a listing on the American version of the site for a picture he says is Nicolas Cage, with the picture dating circa 1870, taken in Bristol, Tennessee, and measuring 4 inches by 2.5 inches. Here's the listing: original circa 1870 carte de visite, showing a man who looks exactly like Nicolas Cage. Personally, I believe it's him and that he is some sort of walking undead vampire, etc., who quickens, reinvents himself once every 75 years or so. 150 years from now, he might be a politician, the leader of a cult, or a talk show host. Kind of the same thing now, aren't they? I've had a lot of questions asking where I purchased this. As followers of my website know, I collect antique memorial photography, images of dead people. It's quite a hobby, right? I guess it beats the hell out of stamps. From the 1800s, this photo was found in the very back of an album that contained an unusual number of Civil War era death portraits, which is why I purchased it. All of the other people in the album, living and dead, were identified by name. This man was not. Ooh, dun dun dun, the plot thickens. And the asking price for this monumental find? $1 million. 1 million buckaroos. And you can have this picture of a random dude that looks like Nic Cage. And if you're worried that he'll get you on the postage and package, you can put your fears aside, my friends, because international shipping is just $3.95. Well, at least the writer of this piece has a sense of humor, right? It's hard not to when you're talking about this, though, right? It's kind of clever, kind of funny. Of all the crazy things I've seen go up on eBay, and there is a lot of them, this has got to be one of the strangest. You hear stories about, I was just, holy shit, I have not read this article yet, and I was just gonna fucking say the fucking air guitars. I don't know if anybody remembers that on eBay, but back in the day, there was people selling air guitars on eBay. I don't know if any of you, there might be some youngins out there who don't know what the fucking air guitar is. It's this, right here. This, let me raise it for the camera. This is my air guitar, right here. And I go, down it, that's an air guitar. It's nothing. An air guitar is when you just make the shape of a guitar with your hands. And there was people who were selling these air guitars on eBay. $1 million photo, though, of Nicolas Cage from the 19th century, proving him to be a vampire. Well, that's definitely a winner, right? That might beat the hell out of air guitars. For $1 million, I think it takes the cake, yeah. Not to mention the fact that it is, of course, utterly unverifiable. Well, that is a problem. The seller does do a pretty good, amusing job of answering people's questions about its authenticity, though. Credit where credit is due. Question: vampires can't be photographed. Oh, good point. Which means neither this man in a photo or an actor in a which means neither this man in a photo or an actor in a photoplay movie could be a vampire. What you say to that? And the seller's answer: if vampires can't be photographed, how do you explain this? Touche, salesman. Yeah. Good job there. I have a lot of love for Nicolas Cage, and I would probably happily welcome his undead status if it were true, because that would mean he could potentially be a never ending number of films and still keep his ridiculously cool persona however many years down the line. But sadly, I remain just a tad skeptical. From what I can tell, the listing is ending pretty soon, so I've taken the liberty of taking a few screenshots and embedding them below in case it finishes before you get a chance to take a look. Or slightly less likely in case somebody buys it and the listing closes. Either way, I wanted to keep it for posterity. At the time of writing, the seller has had more than 200 offers on the photograph, all of which have been declined. But if you happen to have $1 million lying around for just such an occasion, this photo could well be yours. Good luck with your offers. And there's the listing. It would be even more, this story would get even more hilarious if Nicolas Cage bought it for $1 million, right? Like, that dude's got $1 million lying around, you know, so that would be hilarious. So we're going to move over to this website, The Online Photographer. Yes, Nicolas Cage is a vampire. So this guy says, and this is a really short article, it's just kind of an update on what this person has to say about it. I know I spend way too much time on the internet. Hey, somebody has to do it so you don't have to. But sometimes I run across something that really makes me laugh. The story here is that the eBay seller apparently found this old carte de visite. I don't know what that means. If anybody knows what that means, comment on it. Showing a Nicolas Cage lookalike and reached what is surely the only reasonable explanation, which is the photo proves Nicolas Cage is a vampire. I love that. And then it goes on to say exactly what the seller said. Let's see. E-Online reports that the collectors reveal that the antique memorial photo is a portrait of Lieutenant G.B. Smith, a Confederate prisoner that was taken in 1864 at Johnson's Island prison camp in Ohio. The auction has either ended or been taken down. The asking price for the proof of the Nicolas Cage's undeadness was $1 million. I secretly hope the end of the auction means that somebody paid it. I kind of do too. Update. Here's the update. Turns out there is much more photographic interest to this story than meets the eye. If this is indeed Lieutenant G.B. Smith, aka Lieutenant Robert M. Smith, Confederate prisoner at Johnson's Island, then he might be the man who apparently set up a clandestine photo studio and darkroom while in prison. The fascinating story was featured on the PBS show History Detectives and can be found at timesnews.net, the website of the Kingsport, Tennessee Times News, thanks to D.C. Wells for this. So yeah, it turns out that this guy is actually a Confederate prisoner that had his own bit of interesting history where he set up a photo studio while in prison, which I guess is kind of cool. You know, I mean, I feel like if you were in prison, you were going to do something cool. The first thing you'd do is get out of prison, right? You'd take a page out of old John Dillinger's book and figure out a way out versus, you know, setting up a photo studio. But hey, to each their own. Maybe this guy, you know, prison was nice. It was a good vacation away from his wife. He's like, I don't want to go back to that bitch. And he's like, I fucking love photography, man. You know, when I'm not shooting people, I love to take portraits of them. And so he threw up a photography studio while he was in prison. But so, unfortunately, it does turn out that was a pretty crazy mystery we had to solve. I know it took us all of 13 minutes, in fact, to solve that mystery. Nicolas Cage is indeed not a vampire. Here is his response, though, to the rumors of him being a vampire. So go ahead.
Now, maybe you know all about this. This is one of those things that's sweeping the internet. Do you know what I'm talking about?
I heard about it, yeah.
Look at this. This is a guy finds this picture. This is for a Civil War, roughly 1860s, and a guy says that it likely is you.
Right. Well, let me say that there is a resemblance, but how can I be polite about this? It's a somewhat slowed down version of me.
The guy's theory is that you look exactly.
Yeah, I agree. I don't know about slowed down, but it's definitely him with a fucking lump on the side of his head. That's for sure. So maybe he got that in the Civil War, right? Somebody hit him with a gun stock and it was like, boop, now he's got a lump there. So, lesson there, don't go fight in a Civil War.
Exactly the same now, and therefore that makes you a vampire.
Right.
That's the theory.
Yeah,
that's
except there's a photograph of me, and you can't take pictures.
This is you from Moonstruck, 1987.
Now, look, I don't drink blood, and last time I looked in the mirror, I have a reflection, so I'm not going with his vampire theory. I'm just not going to do
it. I'm just not going to do it.
Make your browser fast.
Well, there you go. So that was his response to these videos, which I thought was kind of funny. Oh, wrong screen. I know you like staring at my face, but probably not that much. Um, so yeah, that was his response to these videos or to these pictures that they found. I think this was the article that I got it at. Uh, yeah, this explanation theoretically puts paid to any serious consideration that Cage has always been an immortal bloodsucker, in case there was some serious consideration on your part. Although it also can't be denied that it's the very thing a vampire would say to throw people off the scent. Oh shit, Far Out magazine. They kind of, that's some 3D chess right there. So perhaps take it with a grain of garlic salt. Uh, yeah, it does sound like he did know about it, though. One thing is for sure, though, the real Cage knew about this supposed 19th century doppelganger. See, he should have bought it. That would have made the story so much funner as if he would have bought it. So, that's all the really information that exists out there. Where it came from. It's the Mr. Lieutenant, whatever, who was a soldier during the Civil War. I think they said what was Confederate prisoner. Is that what they said? Right? And yeah, some guy found it, tried to sell it on eBay for $1 million, claimed he was a vampire, blew up all over the internet as these things do. And that was steadily, I don't know if it was disproven, but somebody came out and said, no, this is a photo of some random ass dude who really liked to take pictures while he was in prison. Showed it to Nicolas Cage. He denied it. And what more proof do you need, right? I almost feel like Nicolas Cage. I would have thought he would be the kind of guy to just lean into it and been like, fuck yeah, I'm totally a vampire. Hell yeah, I suck blood. Don't give a fuck. He seems like that kind of guy. But so, I do 2-hour streams over here on Cool Beans Hot Stuff. So, what is the rest of my stream about then? You might be asking yourself. Maybe you might not give a fuck. You might have already clicked off. You might actually not be watching it because I don't think anybody's actually watching at the moment. But so, that's probably more likely. But, let's just pretend you are watching this. Let's pretend someone's out there and they are asking themselves, well, what the fuck is this guy going to talk about then for the next hour and a half? Well, it turns out Nicolas Cage isn't the only possible vampire living in Hollywood, right? And I'm not talking about all those ones that drink adrenochrome either. Funny enough, his good buddy, well, I don't know if they're good buddies. I don't know if they like each other at all, even, but John Travolta, his co star from the movie Face Off. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie Face Off. That's from the 90s. A lot of y'all watching are probably maybe too young to remember when it came out. I'm actually too young to remember when it came out, which makes me feel a little bit better because every time I go searching the date of something and they're like, it was 20 years ago that movie came out, I'm like, fuck, out, stop. But yeah, this movie, thank God, I was too young to remember when it came out, but I definitely remember watching it. I have it on Vudu and I watch the shit out of it all the time. It's a really good movie. Not saying that it doesn't have plot holes, just saying it's a lot of fun entertainment, right? So check that movie out if you're ever interested to see these two together on the big screen. It's pretty funny. But yes, so it turns out John Travolta also has a potential historical doppelganger, or maybe also might be a vampire. That's supposedly him right there, which is pretty uncanny, right? You go take a picture of John Travolta, that looks quite a bit like John Travolta. Uh, so yeah, this is the origins of Nicolas Cage. So, the publicity generated by the Cage vampire photo prompted an unidentified Ontario, Canada photograph collector to relist an item he'd first put up on eBay the previous month. A picture of John Travolta look-alike he claimed dated from 1860, same era. Ooh, that's suspicious, right? I don't know, maybe. And hadn't been changed, tampered with, or altered in any way. The unidentified antique dealer who had a 100% positive seller rating on eBay and avowed this photo was not doctored in any way asked a comparatively reasonable $50,000. Well, that's not so bad, right? You can swing that maybe, sell your house and you can get a photo of John Travolta from 1860. Might be worth it. But offered an equally bizarre explanation of how the star of such iconically 20th century films as Saturday Night Fever and Grease could have been photographed more than 150 years ago. And so the seller says, I've had this interesting photograph for years, and I've been unable to part with it, the seller said on the auction site. When you look at it and into the eyes of the sitter, you will see what I mean. It hasn't been changed, tampered with, or altered in any way. It is clear and is as nice as the day it was taken, roughly 151 years ago. I know you're saying John Travolta is alive today in 2011, and he doesn't look 151 years old, the seller wrote. John Travolta is a Scientologist. And many Scientologists believe in a type of reincarnation. Of course, time travel can't be ruled out as well. Well, of course it can't. That makes all the logical sense in the world. As far as we know, the Cage photograph was pulled from eBay, and the Travolta photograph failed to find a buyer. Even at $50,000. Can you believe that? So neither has been examined by experts who could have documented or disclaimed their authenticity. Oh, see, we don't actually know. You know, Nicolas Cage could have just been lying to you. Experts have not been able to verify it. So let's see. This is about the photo. John Travolta time traveler photo for sale on eBay. And yeah, around the same time too. I mean, it makes sense why it came out at the same time, 18. But the fact that they were both taken in 1860 is kind of interesting. Adds a little bit of extra spin to the story, right? So, the seller of the John Travolta photo doesn't look too supernatural to explain the likeness. However, he's leaning towards science fiction. He writes, for those of you that don't know, John Travolta is a Scientologist and they believe in reincarnation, which I don't actually know if that's true. I do have a friend that's a Scientologist. I'll have to ask her one day if that's the case, if they do believe in reincarnation. But maybe they do. I don't know. Let's see. Unlike the seller, this one was going for 50,000. The seller gives no other information about the man in the photo, but as of Thursday morning, 4 offers were already pending of the picture. Probably not for $50,000 though, if I had to throw out a guess, right? What does John Travolta say about the proof of his vampirism, huh? I don't know. Let's see. John Travolta has supernatural time traveling knowledge, according to one eBay salesman who claims to have proof. The image surfaced, we are aware, $50,000. This is what he said, all about Scientology. Travolta has gone on record to speak about his religion in the past. During a promotional interview for his 2005 movie release, Be Cool, Travolta spoke about Scientology helping him develop methods to heal people. So this isn't exactly him talking about the photo. This is just him talking about Scientology. And what he said was, I have some techniques that I've borrowed from Scientology that quickens healing, Travolta said in the interview. If you weren't feeling well, I could maybe help you get better quicker. It's no talent of mine. It's something that I study and learn, and it's something that you could study and learn as well. Oh, okay. Travolta is not the first Hollywood actor, though, to have been alive centuries ago. Images of Nicolas Cage, much like Travolta, a Civil War era. This goes back into Nicolas Cage's. Was this article helpful? Yeah, sure. Article was fine. Thank you. Thumbs up for you guys. Oh, now they want. I take my thumbs up back. So yeah, there you have it. I couldn't find anything other than this on what John Travolta's thoughts were about his vampirism, and it also doesn't look like anybody actually knows who that guy in the photo was, as far as I'm aware. I do have another article later in the stream that we'll take a gander at that might give us a little hints, but I don't know. We'll see. Okay. But still, so we've pretty much solved Nicolas Cage, right? Probably not a vampire. Rich person that drinks adrenochrome, maybe, but definitely not a vampire. Probably more than likely not. At least he doesn't say it not. And you know what? I trust the guy. He seems very trustworthy. So I trust Nicolas Cage. He's probably not a vampire. John Travolta didn't have anything to say, though. He stayed pretty mute on the subject, which makes me suspicious about him, all right? And I don't know enough about Scientology to know if they actually believe in reincarnation. I'm pretty sure reincarnation doesn't happen that way, though. I don't believe you reincarnate as yourself. What would be the point, right? I'm pretty sure you're supposed to like reincarnate into like a fucking butterfly if you're a good person, or a cockroach if you were a bad person, maybe a worm if you were Hitler. I guess that doesn't make sense because there's way too many fucking worms. But in any case, I don't think that's how reincarnation works, as far as I'm told, right? But I don't know enough about Scientology to tell you. So we don't really have an ending to that particular mystery, and no more information either. So where do we go from here? Well, it turns out Nicolas Cage and John Travolta are both not the only Hollywood stars that have claimed to be vampires or Scientologists, reincarnators, or time travelers, whatever. Keanu Reeves. Is Keanu Reeves immortal? Unpacking the conspiracy behind the actor's eternal youth. And this was written in 2022, so this is a pretty recent one. So it's been over 3 decades since Hollywood first fell in love with Keanu Reeves in the late 1980s, but the passage of time has done little to diminish his charm or his good looks. In fact, some actors fans thinks he looks a little too good for his 57 years. Wow, that's crazy. 57 years in John Wick. Yeah, that is pretty wild. And have sparked a curious conspiracy theory that Keanu Reeves may actually be immortal. The theory has its roots in the actor's youthful appearance and the little acts of kindness he is known for, but the rabbit hole goes far, far deeper than that. Yeah, I think everybody's heard of Keanu Reeves being a good person, right? That was like a meme for a while. Before, I don't know if it was before or after, but when I was a kid, I remember it was kind of like a meme before memes. And maybe not a kid, but like in high school. I guess high schoolers are kids. When I was in like high school age, the sad Kiana meme, burps are coming like crazy. I swear to God, I don't burp all fucking day. Then I get in front of the camera and I'm just like, burp, burp, burp. I can't stop. So, and my heartburn goes up too. I don't know what that's about. But there was a meme back in the day, Sad Kiana, where it was pictures of Kiana just like sitting around, sitting on the subway, sitting in a coffee shop alone, and everybody's like, oh, ho, ho, sad, lonely, fucking Keanu Reeves. I don't know if that came out before or after the whole Keanu Reeves is such a good guy thing. But there was tons of, then, somewhere around there came out tons of stories about how cool of a guy this guy is, right? Fans approaching him and him being super duper sweet, him buying things for fans occasionally, like at a coffee shop, buys a fan a coffee or something. Oh, there was one of him sharing his birthday cake with a fan, which is pretty fucking sweet. And then, of course, there's a lot of money that he donates to charities. I believe it's leukemia. Like, it might be children with leukemia, or at least to leukemia based research, something to that effect. Because I believe his little sister passed away from leukemia, which is very sad. So, but anyways, yeah, totally a good guy. I think most people nowadays are aware or they know Keanu for that. But he might also have multiple identities through time. According to futurist and philosopher, what is a futurist? Huh, I don't know. I might have to look that up. According to futurist and philosopher Dr. Richard Hames, Reeves has been seen across multiple centuries, going back as far as 700 AD. So, wow, he's even got John Travolta and Nicolas Cage beat. They were just seen back in the 1860s. That's like rookie numbers. Need to get those numbers up. Keanu was spotted all the way back in 700 AD, right? So this guy was almost around, not quite, but almost around for Christ, right? He tells Yahoo News Conspiracies Unpacked that the first sighting of Reeves is as Charles the Great, the founder of the Holy Roman Empire. Paintings of the medieval emperor do bear a similar resemblance to Reeves, and the circumstances surrounding his death also invite suspicion, as Charles' body was hurriedly buried the same day he died. Charles is said to have passed away of natural causes just months after he established his son as his successor, leading conspiracy theorists to speculate that the whole thing may have been staged to give Charles, by which they mean Reeves, an opportunity to depart and establish a new identity elsewhere. Another compelling historical sighting of Reeves is an early 20th century actor, Paul Manet, whom Dr. Hames says is definitely a look-alike. Dr. Hames also points to the mystery surrounding Monet's death, saying his body, I don't think, was ever found, although there was some conjecture that he died of a heart condition. So here's the portrait. Pull it up a little bit. Here is the portrait of Charles the Great in modern day Keanu, or Keanu. It's a Hawaiian name. See, if Cutie Pie was awake, she would be correcting me in the chat right now. She's from Hawaii, so she knows how to pronounce Kiana's name. I've always said Kiana, and I'm never going to say Keanu or whatever the appropriate pronunciation is, because I don't know, because I'm stuck in my ways. That's why. But if Cutie Pie ever wakes up, maybe she can tell us how to actually say his name. I think it's Keanu. But anyway, here is Keanu back as Charles the Great. And then here's Keanu nowadays. And then here is, what was that guy's name? Paul Monet. Yeah, I mean, I feel like the nose is maybe a little slimmer, right? Not as long. Forehead is still pretty big. Yeah, there's a resemblance there, right? Yeah. Oh, yeah. And Keanu Reeves doesn't deny it, neither. During an appearance on The Jimmy Fallon Show in 2017, Reeves was asked about his resemblance to these two historical figures, and his response did nothing but fan the flames of suspicion. Ah, good old Keanu. He's just playing right into it. See, that's what Nicolas Cage said. When Fallon explained that conspiracy theorists are suggesting Reeves has been seen in different guises throughout the ages, the actor cryptically said, "We're all Stardust, baby." I don't know what that means, but it's a good answer. Fallon went on to pull up portraits of Charles the Great and Monet, and Reeves noted, I can see we have a likeness in the eyes and the nose and the mustache and the beard and the cheekbones and the forehead. This interview came after another telling comment Reeves made back in 2014 when he was questioned about giving away millions of his own earnings to people who worked behind the scenes in the Matrix trilogy. Oh, wow. See, I completely forgot about that one. Yeah, that's pretty cool. His response was, money is the last thing I think about. I could live on what I have already made for the next few centuries. Oh, that's a Freudian slip right there, isn't it? Right? If I've ever seen one. And if conspiracy theorists are to be believed, that's exactly what the actor plans to do. Interesting. That does kind of make me want to note, going back to the Nicolas Cage thing, I do think some part of the Nicolas Cage is a vampire conspiracy came from the movie oh, what was it? Just Bitten. Was it Just Bitten with Nicolas Cage, or was Just Bitten with the funny guy? Oh, Bing, you suck. Give me even Google sucks, but Bing's even worse. Just Bitten. There we go. Turns out it. Jesus. Okay, turns out there's a kind of lip stain that all you girls like named Just Bitten, which makes it harder for me to research my movie. Once Bitten. There it is. Once Bitten. Yeah, Once Bitten was with Jim Carrey, not Nicolas Cage. Okay, that's what I thought. Nicolas Cage was in a vampire movie. What is the name of the Nicolas Cage vampire movie? Not Renfield. Not Renfield. That already happened. That was a long time ago. There was another one. I'm not fucking with you. Okay, we're gonna have to go to Nicolas Cage's Internet Movie Database to check it out. And it's worth doing. Now, on another note about Nicolas Cage, don't know if any of you are aware of it, but he's actually Francis Ford Coppola's son, Sofia Coppola's brother. Oh, whose brother? Excuse me, he is the brother. Oh no, okay. Nicolas Cage was born Nicholas Kim Coppola in Long Beach, California, the son of comparative literature professor August Coppola, who was the brother of Francis Ford Coppola. So he's Francis Ford Coppola's nephew. And dancer and choreographer Joy Volgasling. He is of Italian and Polish and German descent. Cage changed his name early in his career to make his own reputation, succeeding brilliantly with a host of classics, yada, yada, yada. Let's look at his Gunslingers. I think that already came out, right? Previous. Oh, yeah, upcoming. Okay. Oh, man, he has so many. He's been in so many fucking movies. So many good ones, too. I don't know if any of you are Nicolas Cage fans here. Let's swap over here. We can see more of the list a little bit. I don't know if anybody out there is Nicolas Cage fans, but I'm a huge Nicolas Cage fan. The dude is fucking crazy. Let's see. Fast Times at Ridgemont High, one of his first ones. He was the random dude with his shirt off that just stands there and smiles. Wow, he was in Rumblefish. I didn't know that. Raising Arizona, Moonstruck, Vampire's Kiss. That's it. Sort of hard to miss. Okay, Vampire's Kiss. That was the vampire movie he was in. And I have no idea if it was a good movie or not. I haven't seen that. When did this one come out? 1988. Well, I wasn't even born yet. That's probably why I haven't seen it. Um, let's see. Honeymoon in Vegas. Leaving Las Vegas. Ooh, Con Air. That was a good one. I don't know if any of you saw Con Air, but oof. Yeah, he had a run, man, in the 90s. In the late 90s, Nic Cage had a fucking run of just, chart topping movies, man. The Rock, Con Air, Face Off, City of Angels, Snake Eyes, 8mm, Bringing Out the Dead, Gone in 60 Seconds. Oh my God, Gone in 60 Seconds. That was a good one, man. That was a fucking beast. Angelina Jolie, I thought she had dreadlocks in that. Blonde dreadlocks. It doesn't matter. Even with the blonde dreadlocks, that movie was awesome. I'm a huge classic car fan, and the Eleanor Mustang in there is like, oh, so sexy. Even sexier than Angelina with the dreadlocks. But then around there, I think, Family Man, then Captain Corelli's Mandolin, it kind of went a little bit off. He had adaptation. Matchstick Men was a good one, if you guys ever saw it. Then, yeah, you had National Treasure. Lord of War. Lord of War was awesome. That's a good one. If you've never seen Lord of War, I think it even has that Jared Leto fella in it. I don't think, yeah, Jared Leto and Ethan Hawke. Oh, Ethan Hawke was good in that. Then the terrible Wicker Man. Oof. Yeah, that one was bad. So, he's definitely got. I think it's around this time that Nicolas Cage becomes known for his hit or miss style, right? Like, is what people nowadays know him for. Nowadays he's got a very hit or miss thing where people are like, yeah, some of them are good, right? You got uh Werewolf Women of the SS. That was a commercial in the Grindhouse films that he starred in. I believe it was Rob Zombie's fake commercial, a fake movie Rob Zombie was going to make called Werewolf Women of the SS, kind of to spoof on the Nazi exploitation movie Grindhouse films back in the 70s. But he's got some bigger ones in there, and then a lot of them kind of plummet. Um, Kick-Ass wasn't bad. Kick-Ass wasn't bad. Season of the Witch, Drive Angry, Trespass. See, I don't know a whole lot of those. Stolen, don't know that one. Joe, haven't seen that one. Rage got, Outcast. Ooh, Left Behind. That was a pretty bad one. Yeah, that Left Behind is one you can miss and you'll be okay. Don't know The Runner. Pay the Ghost wasn't horrible. I didn't think it was bad. Dog Eat Dog was fucking awful. Man, I did not like this movie at all. And this one had Nicolas Cage and Willem Dafoe in it. And it was like, what? How could you have those two guys in an action movie and have it suck? Definitely not my favorite. Not to say those guys are bad in it. It just wasn't a good movie, you know. Then yeah, USSS, Arsenal, Vengeance. Oh, Mom and Dad is a good, funny horror one. Really lets the psycho out. Mandy is a badass horror one. If you haven't seen Mandy and you like horror movies, you gotta fucking check that one. That's a good one. Same with Color Out of Space, made by the same production company that did Mandy. I read that he did a 4-film contract with this production company, whatever it's called, and he did Mandy, Color Out of Space. Where are we? Oh yeah, he has one called Jujitsu where he's got a sword. That's horrible. As somebody who does jujitsu, that's just laughable. Made me laugh my ass off. Prisoners of Ghostland and Willy's Wonderland. Those are the other two. Prisoners of Ghostland, again, not very good. Would not recommend that. But Willy's Wonderland was really enjoyable. I enjoyed that. I really enjoyed Renfield. That was a good one. Never saw Sympathy for the Devil. Saw it when it came out. I thought Arcadian was fine. Longlegs, he was good in, man. He was super fucking creepy in Longlegs. That's all my girlfriend knows him for now. Whenever I'm like, Nicolas Cage, she's like, who's Nicolas Cage? I'm like, Nicolas Cage. You don't know Nicolas Cage? She's like, oh, that fucking creepy guy from Longlegs, yeah. And there was one in here. Where did it go? Pig. Oddly enough, man, such a weird synopsis for a movie, synopsis, whatever the kids say nowadays. A truffle hunter who lives alone in the Oregon wilderness must return to his past in Portland in search of his beloved foraging pig after she is kidnapped. Really odd setup for a movie, but fuck, dude, that movie is so good. Got a lot of layers that are put in really, really well. Okay, anyways, we went on a little tangent there. That's fine. I think I'm purposely doing that because I'm running out of material for you guys. That's probably what's happening. We're running through these slides a lot quicker than I thought I would. As I've gotten better, here, let's swap over back to, oh, it's my big face again. Okay, well, that's fine. We can stay on the big face for a minute. As I've gotten better at streaming or more comfortable with streaming, I find I spend a lot more time. I can run through streams quicker. And so, yeah, the streams end up being either much shorter than they usually are, and I have to like push for time. I'm like trying to throw every single thing I got out in the book, trying to tell random ass stories and to make up for so I have at least the 2 hours, because that's what I told myself I would do is 2 hours, so I'm not trying to skimp short of that. But then, or I'll find something that I really enjoy talking about and it'll end up being like 3 or 4 hours. So anyways, let's move back to Keanu Reeves here. We're talking about Keanu. Let's go ahead. I have a video here we can watch of Keanu about this whole conspiracy theory from Yahoo Australia, of all.
My name is Danny Clayton, and this is Conspiracies Unpacked, where we dissect the intellectual conspiracies that have mystified humanity for generations. Like, is Keanu Reeves an immortal vampire? Get ready to take the blue pill or the red pill as we dive into the matrix of this particular conspiracy. Now, well before the shiny...
Okay, and we're back, I think. What a bummer. Yeah, something about my stream key. I don't entirely know what that is. But let me just make sure. Go back here. Yeah, okay, we're live again. What a bunch of fuckers, man. I tell you. I tell you these things. Okay, well, you know, after I just went on a whole rant about how I'm getting much better at streaming, my stream craps out on me. Okay, Twitch, you proved your point. I guess I have a lot to learn on stream. Anyway, glad we're back.
Sparkly
That just makes more editing for me in the What's Up with the YouTube video up, which I guess I definitely need to get better at. So, whatever. Anyways, go ahead and, oh my god, there is that crackle too. I swear, man. Okay, I'm still ironing out the whole process here. So, you know, besides the crackle and the stream dropping, let's go ahead and pretend like none of that happens, and we're gonna watch this YouTube.
My name is Danny Clayton, and this is Conspiracies Unpacked, where we dissect the intellectual conspiracies that have mystified humanity for generations. Like, is Keanu Reeves an immortal vampire? Get ready to take the blue pill or the red pill as we dive into the matrix of this particular...
I bet he thought that was clever. He thought that was clever. It's like, I'm throwing a Matrix reference because it's Keanu and people think I'm smart. Okay, sorry, not making fun of that. Here we go.
Particular conspiracy. Now, well before the shiny, sparkly dreamboat vampires, which young teenage girls swoon over, appeared, there's been many records of the existence of real-life vampires in many different countries, in many different cultures. So, is there a possibility that vampires were real? Breaking down this theory is Dr. Richard Hames. Before we sink our fangs into Keanu, let's talk about vampires.
Oh,
how long ago have we seen vampires popping up in literature, history books, art?
Oh, way back hundreds of years, perhaps to the early 16th century, Danny. Not just fictional evidence, but archaeological evidence that some people were treated as though they were vampires. And just recently, there was a 500-year-old corpse on show in Poland, I believe, where the creature's leg had been stapled to the ground with a stake and a stone wedged into his mouth so that he could suck no more.
Is this the only example of a deviant creature being buried, or is there other examples where bodies have been kind of kept in crypts or locked away in coffins?
Both of those, and many of them. It's not just an isolated example. In countries like Bulgaria, Eastern Europe generally, there are many incidents of that kind of burial.
Now, in history, Vlad Dracula, which of course inspired one of the most famous vampires, otherwise known as Vlad the Impaler, was known to drink blood. What was the story there? Was he a vampire?
He was certainly a very vicious and brutal man.
Do you think he's actually talking to the guy on his computer? That's got to be a graphic, right? If that is, that's a very well done graphic, right? They like put the graphic in there, then put the shit behind him. And this guy's just sitting here talking into a random computer. And he's not very believable. But still, that's really good graphic. Wow.
Brutal man. Yes, used to dip his bread into his victim's blood and had a real taste for blood. His bloodline, by the way, is represented today in the royal family of Great Britain. Prince Charles is a descendant, and actually Prince Charles owns a property in Transylvania.
Connecting the dots, is Prince Charles...
Wow, that's crazy. I didn't know that. I mean, I did know Prince Charles was a little too friendly with Epstein and had other kind of disturbing tastes, but he might also be a vampire too. I'm gonna have to look into that. That might be an even better conspiracy theory than Keanu Reeves. We'll see. Future streaming.
Actually a vampire? I don't know.
Who knows?
All right, let's talk about Keanu. Internet's
About
boyfriend.
fucking time.
Where was the first Keanu in history? Where did we find his first doppelganger?
Keanu was Charles the Great. Going back to the year 740, Charles the Great was the founder of the Holy Roman Empire. That's where it all started. First sighting.
And what evidence do we have of that? We do have paintings where we put them side by side and it's just unmistakable that they're the same people.
Absolutely, the paintings, yes.
I mean, because Keanu is immortal, he has popped up again in other ages. When was the next time in history we saw Keanu?
I'm not sure it was the next time, but certainly in the early 20th century, the French actor Paul Monod, who is definitely a lookalike and definitely Keanu, no doubt about it.
But did Paul die? Did we find his body? Was there evidence that he disappeared?
Not sure, because the body I don't think was ever found, although there was some conjecture that he died of a heart condition.
Okay, so a little bit of mystery.
What's going on with that guy's hair? I mean, it's not horrible. I don't hate it. But, right, it's like he just, like, got right out of bed and was just like, fuck it. Gonna go talk about vampires today. No need to look good. You know, I like the fade, but don't know what's going on up here. It's like hair gel, bro. I know that, you know, it's got to be within the last 10 years. You know, hair gel was invented.
There. So we've got someone that looks exactly like Keanu, but then he disappears. How convenient. Now, truth seekers would compare pictures of Keanu from 1994 to those taken of him recently. And they'll say that there is little difference between the appearance of 94 Keanu to today Keanu. How do you explain that, Richard?
There's a lot of work being done in the scientific community to extend life and to cure death. In terms of treatments, cryogenics, that kind of thing. So it's not beyond the bounds of possibility that he's latched onto a way of maintaining life.
So if we are to look at all the information, do we think that Keanu Reeves is an immortal vampire?
I don't think there's anything doubting that he's absolutely immortal.
Okay.
I like that guy.
There it is. We put a pin in that one. We've got the facts. Don't do your own research. We have the answers. Is Keanu Reeves an immortal vampire? Yes. Yes, he is. This is Conspiracies Unpacked.
Okay, well, you heard it from Bedhead and the old guy with the teeth.
Jermaine
Don't know
struggled
what's
for
going on
years
with-
with
Oh,
dental issues before
speaking of
finally
teeth.
finding Nuvia. Listen to
Yeah, so there you have it. Keanu Reeves is an immortal vampire. Let's see. Let's go back to the article here. And I don't think I need that anymore. Okay, I was hoping that they would kind of throw the Keanu Reeves oh shoot, the interview. God, I kept stumping on don't smoke weed, kids, because it's been, well, I guess it's only been like a week since I smoked weed, but yeah, it's definitely playing one on my memory. So, the secret to Reeves' agelessness. Believers point to the fact that Reeves hardly seems to have aged in the 30-plus years he has been in Hollywood as proof he's immortal. They say that although he's made an effort to change the length and style of his hair and grow a beard, it's only to mask the fact that his actual face has barely changed. But the question remains, just how has Reeves been able to maintain his ageless visage? There's a lot of work being done in the scientific community. Oh, we already read that. Another possible conspiracy theorists have posted that Reeves could be an immortal vampire, a vampire among us. There is plenty of evidence to suggest that people have strongly believed in the existence of vampires, particularly from the Middle Ages to the 19th century. Oh, this is just going to go over what the interview we just read or watched went over. I think, yeah. Okay, so they just go over what we went over. So there you have it. Inconclusive, the data on that one. Keanu Reeves might very well be a vampire against John Travolta, might very well be a reincarnated Scientologist time traveler. Nicolas Cage, probably not, though. Probably not. He definitely came out and denied it, so we can go ahead and say that he's not a vampire officially. But still, there are others. It just keeps happening. I know, which is a good thing, because if it didn't, then I would run out of things to talk about on this stream. So thank God for that. 45 celebrities who have incredible historical lookalikes. Now, they're not claiming all 45 of these celebrities are vampires, but it is pretty fucking wild. And it kind of stands to the point, it turns out, that there actually is a shit ton of lookalikes. This is like a whole thing with like, okay, we're gonna go over to the rant screen here. Gonna push for more time. Gonna give you a pointless rant. Maybe not. We'll see. But have you ever heard of simulation theory? That would be good for a conspiracy theory Thursday, one of those days. So one of these days, I'll look into that, making a conspiracy theory video about it. But you know, in a nutshell, simulation theory poses the idea that we are all living in a, well, simulation, right? This is like a computer program that we're all inside of, and we are all possibly NPCs or non playable characters in somebody else's um, video game, which I actually, that was a great idea for a scary story that I wrote down. Waking up one day and realizing you're just an NPC in a video game, that's kind of spooky, right? To find out you don't have a life of your own. This whole thing has been programmed for some other person that's the main character. That's a fucking bummer, right? That would be a bummer to figure that out. It's existential dread right there, man. So that's a good idea for a short story. Anyways, yeah, so simulation theory poses this idea that we're all in a video game, which is why we all have doppelgangers. And I don't know if anybody else has ran into this, but I myself have definitely ran into the idea of doppelgangers, right? So, like, I was at the gym one time. I have a little brother named Austin. And I was at the gym one time walking down the hall, and I look over at this guy. He's walking next to me, and he's going to the locker room. I'm going to the locker room. You know, we're like two guys going to the locker room holding hands. And, well, no, not that part. Scratch that. And so I'm walking down the hall, and I look over at him, and this guy looks at me, and I'm like, take a double take. I'm like, Austin? You know, and I didn't say that, but I was like, oh my fucking God, bro, this dude looks like my little fucking brother. This is crazy. And he kind of like looks at me like, this dude's fucking staring at me, dude. And I'm like, well, yeah, like, fuck, have you seen my little brother? Like, dude, spitting image of each other, right? And my little brother doesn't have like one of those faces, right? You always hear that from people, I guess I just have one of those faces. And nobody really knows what the fuck that means. But my little brother does not have one of those faces. He's got a very distinguishable face, right? The only face I know of that looks like his is mine. And this one fucking freak guy just walking, and I never saw him again. I never saw him again, right? Total simulation fuck up. Simulation totally just had a fucking brain fart, right? Like my fucking Twitter or my Twitch crapping out on me, right? You know, it's just a total fucking fuck up, and all of a sudden, just like boom, there's my little brother, and they're like, oh, get him out. Oh, that was a mistake. My other little brother, Andrew, my parents sent me a picture one day saying, take a look at this picture of Andrew. And I look at it, and it's Andrew, my little brother Andrew. He's my other little brother, and he's working in a kitchen. And my other Andrew has never worked in a kitchen. He went to school to be a fucking accountant, right? You know what I'm saying? So, you know, he's sitting in a kitchen behind like a, you know, like a flat top stove. And I'm like, wow, like Andrew works in a kitchen now, huh? That's pretty crazy. You guys spent, you know, that much money on his college degree for him to go literally flip burgers. But I wonder how you feel about that. And they said, no, actually, that's a random guy that just works at this restaurant. And I was like, oh, wow, that looks like fucking Andrew. And yeah, my parents actually over Easter took me and my girlfriend to that restaurant. And I don't know if Cutie Pie saw, I don't know, she might still be passed out. But, yeah, I saw, they pointed him out. They're like, there's the fucking dude that looks like your brother. And I was like, oh, God, that's fucking crazy. I mean, he had longer hair, so they didn't have the same haircut at the same time. But he looks like my little brother when he had longer hair. He was all skinny and he had like the same mannerisms and shit. And I was like, man, that is crazy. And then, you know, there was one time I went to a wedding recently with my cutie pie, not our wedding, someone else's. And one of her friends got married. A guy named Gio, funny enough, who tends to pop into the stream occasionally, just got married, and we were at their wedding, and it was this Geo fella, his I think it was his dad or maybe his uncle, some smaller, shorter but stockier, pretty thick built dude, walked up to me three separate times in the wedding, you know, and I'm just like, I'm at a random person's wedding, right? I'm just thankful to be there, you know, because my girlfriend's there, she's having a good time with all their friends. I'm just like, wow, this is a nice wedding. I'm happy to be here, and I'm just gonna get shit faced and enjoy the moment, right? That's all I'm doing, right? I had a really nice suit. I was my first suit that I ever got made just for me. My fucking suit. It cost me $1,000, which at the time was like heartburn. Like I was having heartburn every night over it, but it was worth it. Now I have a really nice suit, $1,000 suit hanging up in my closet. And so I was just like, fuck it. I'm just going to look good in this suit and get drunk. That's what I'm going to do. And so I'm getting steadily more shit faced over the night as we're going along. But 3 different times I go up to the bar to grab a beer and get a little bit more shit faced, and this guy looks at me and he smiles. He's like, "Hey," what did he say? He goes, "Hey, Fitzpatrick." And I'm like, "Hey, yeah, sure, dude, whatever. And give me a beer, please." And I'm gonna go that way. And so I get a beer and I walk that way. And I drink my beer and I come back. I'm a little more tipsy. And this guy walks up and he slaps me on the back, same guy, and goes, "Fitzpatrick." And I'm like, sure, give me another beer, quick. And, by the end of it, finally, he walks up to me and he's like, "Hey, do you know who John Fitzpatrick is?" And I'm like, "No, I don't know who that is." He's like, "The football player." I was like, "Oh, like, what age of when did he play football?" And he said, "Oh, he was like, in the 90s or something." I said, "Yeah, I didn't watch football in the 90s. I was a kid or whatever at that time." He's like, "Oh, man, you look just like him." And I was like, "Oh, really? Okay." Well, so I sat back down at the table. I'm like, "John Fitzpatrick," and I Google it, and sure as fucking balls, dude, that guy looks like me. Let's just put that online. Fitzpatrick looks like me, not the other way around, right? Or maybe it was Fitzgerald. It was Fitz something. Mr. John Fitz something. Apparently some football player. I forget who he even played for. But fuck, that guy looked a lot like me, And then you probably can't tell now, especially with the longer beard, but I've had moments where I cut my beard short and I'm at the gym, working out, and some random guy comes up to me. He's like, "Bro, you look exactly like Conor McGregor." I'm like, "Oh, well, I mean, I don't know if that's a compliment or not, but I'll take it like it is one." Same thing happened with me and my cutie pie. If she was awake, she would confirm these stories. Okay, they're not fake. I just have no one to confirm them. Kind of like Keanu Reeves and John Travolta. But I was sitting at a Mexican restaurant in San Francisco, and some guy walks up and is like, "Dude, the waiter walks up and is like, 'You look just like Conor McGregor, man. I swear to God, I thought it was him when he walked in.'" It's like, "Oh, okay." And I looked up Conor McGregor versus John Fitzgerald or whatever his name is, and they look alike. I'm like, "Fuck, we could be triplets." I'm just the very unsuccessful one. Which is a fucking bummer. Anyways, so yeah, the doppelganger thing happens all the time. And I'm sure anybody who's watching you have had that experience. Everybody's had that fucking experience at least once in their life, right? With somebody in their life. I've had that experience so many fucking times, and I even have like a guy I used to wrestle with at the MMA gym who looks like the Indian version, Indian, like Hindu Indian version of my best friend Sean. I have a good friend named Sean who's Irish. He's got I don't know if he's actually Irish, but he looks like he should be Irish. If he isn't, then, I don't know what happened there. But he's got, the red hair, thick beard. He's got, he's as ginger as it gets, man. And I would wrestle with this kid who acted just like Sean, who had the same disposition as him, who looked exactly like him, except he was Indian. Whatever, right? And we still got along too. I was like, dude, like, I never left home, dude. Sean's right here with me. He just eats way more falafels or whatever, So, that's a thing. Certainly happens. Okay. So, anyways, back to the topic at hand. I had to rant a little bit more, waste a little bit more time. I don't even know now that the stream crapped out and went down. My clock's all fucked up, so I don't even know how much time I've actually spent. Oh, I guess I kind of do. I can follow the clock. So we still got an hour. Balls. You guys still got an hour that you have to sit and stare in my face. Okay, well, that's fine. We'll figure it out. I'll tell you more random ass bullshit stories to keep that time going, so stay tuned for that. But anyways, here is 45 more celebrities with incredible historical lookalikes, right? So I'll let you be the judge on this. We'll go through these together. So first off, Brad Pitt. And I don't know if I'm entirely convinced on that one. Maybe a younger version. They should have put a younger Brad Pitt up here, and I would have been more convinced. Who is this fella? Swiss psychologist and psychoanalyst Herman Rorschach. Interesting. Yeah, they do both have good hair. Yes, both have fantastic hair. Yeah, fuck this guy and his awesome hair for sure. And Brad Pitt too. Screw that guy for that awesome hair on his head. Queen Latifah, number 2. Oh, I can kind of see that one. See the cheekbones, especially cheekbones and eyes and nose, especially. Yeah. And chin. You know what? Yeah, it's all there. That looks like Queen Latifah. Who is that? Renowned essayist and author Zora Neale Hurston. Hurston is an influential African-American author who led the Harlem Renaissance movement. She also allowed so many artists to succeed by paving the way for them to grow and prosper. That is kind of similar to Queen Latifah, too. Queen Latifah was definitely a pioneer in the rap days. I know that is way long past a lot of you youngins' pay grade, right? A lot of y'all probably don't remember that shit. But Queen Latifah was definitely that's how she initially got famous, when she was a rapper. And one of the first initial female rappers. You know, I don't think she's as old as the real Roxanne right now. That's really pulling shit out of my ass. You know, I mean, that's a whole. You know, y'all probably don't even know what the fuck I'm talking about when I say that. But the real Roxanne was probably, I think she was the OG female rapper. But Queen Latifah was right there, right up her. I mean, she was before Missy Elliott, Little Kim. I'm pretty sure. Anyways, yeah, interesting doppelgangers, and kind of had a similar pioneer life to them too. Eddie Murphy. Is this a movie poster promote Eddie Murphy playing a 1930s mystery man, or are they twins? Eddie Murphy is a beloved actor who has made people laugh with his distinct voice. Yeah, we're aware. That dude is funny. Wow. Holy shit. That is fucking crazy. Man, yeah, that looks just like him. That's Eddie Murphy in a fucking hat, if I've ever seen one. With the bow tie. Good thing they found a picture of him with the bow tie. That matches so perfectly. The man on the left shares a sly smile and mustache, but that is all we know about him. The photo could definitely be used as a prop photo for future Eddie Murphy movie. That is crazy. Man, so Eddie Murphy's definitely a vampire, right? We're going to throw that out there. He is definitely on that list of possible vampires. Peter Dinklage. Oh, yeah. Peter Dinklage is well known for his role in Game of Thrones. The show is a fictional period piece, and he plays the character Tyrion Lannister. I don't know. I never watched Game of Thrones. So in the show, he uses his knowledge and wit to overcome the prejudices he faces. His historical twin is Sebastian de Mora, the court dwarf and jester to Philip IV of Spain. Yeah, they're pretty similar looking. You know, if he grew his mustache out, you know, with the have the little kind of twirl in it. You know, I seen a guy the other day at the gym that twirled his mustache, and I was like, wow, that's nice. Is that making a comeback? That should make a comeback. That's a mustache that should make a comeback, right? As a little twirl stash, because those are kind of cool. I'm not going to try to pull one off, you know, but everybody else can. Peter Dinklage should shoot for it, you know, because it looked good on him back in the day, right? Orlando Bloom. That's pretty close. Looked like Nikolai Grigorescu. Well, I'm glad Orlando's Bloom is easier to say. A Roman painter. Yeah, I mean, he's even got the wavy ass hair and everything. Orlando Bloom is more curly hair, but he might have gotten like a perm or something done. But yeah, it's similar. I think he's got a bigger forehead, right? We can't really tell the perms covering up the forehead, but you know, different mustache. Oh, see, he's doing kind of the curl thing, or maybe that's a natural curl. I don't know, but yeah, they look similar. Macaulay Culkin. I don't ever remember how to pronounce his name. I don't know that. I'm not seeing that. No. Yeah, no. Who is that? Resemblance to young Vladimir Putin. That's Vladimir Putin. Wow. Look at that guy. I mean, he looks, you know what he does? He looks like a little emo kid. He does not look like he wants to go take over the world like some fucking jujitsu judo ass psychopath, right? That kid right there looks like he gets the shit beat out of him for his lunch money, you know? Maybe that's why. Maybe that's why Vladimir Putin is taking over Ukraine right now. He's still pissed about that lunch money. It was probably a Ukrainian. We solved it. That's what happened. That's why he's invading Ukraine. Yep. Makes a lot of sense. That's crazy, though. Jeez. Leonardo DiCaprio. Oh, that could... you know what I was going to say when I first saw that was Jack Black. That looks like a female version of Jack Black. Oh, her name's Judy. Okay, so it is Judy. He looks like this young lady, Judy Zipper. I don't know if that's a diss to Judy or DiCaprio. I don't know. I think that's kind of hitting them both right square in the fucking balls. That's kind of a low belt punch for both of them. Yeah, that honestly to me, I saw that face and the first thing I thought was Jack Black, but maybe I'm wrong. Yearbook from the 60s, huh? Long lost relative. Well, could be. Yeah, you never know. That's crazy. Geesh. I can see the resemblance. She could go for Jack Black. Who is that? Henry David Thoreau. Oh, okay. I don't know who that is, but and Ellen DeGeneres. Okay, that's definitely dissing Ellen, though, right? Okay. I mean, Henry himself doesn't look like he's doing all that good, but that's unfortunate. Ella is well known for being a comedian and a talk show host, but few people know that she might be twins with the great author Henry David Thoreau. Thoreau is well known for his writing many American classics such as Walden. Who knew that he had a doppelganger living in the present day? Mm, that's too much. That's rough. That's mean. They didn't have to include that. They could have totally. In the eyes, too, there's a thing. Because that is one thing about Ellen. She's got those really light, like ice blue eyes. And you can't see the color in those eyes, but those eyes really pop out, right? It's a good thing. It kind of helps distract you from the rest of what's going on there. Charlie Sheen. Oh, wow. Yeah, that is a cracked out Charlie Sheen if I've ever seen one, Normal Charlie Sheen, I don't think this would match, but throw a little bit of crack in there and boom, you got this fucking guy. Who is that guy? Okay, historical doppelganger also like to stir up controversy, but in a good way. Hashtag winning. The man on the right is John Brown, and he led a slave rebellion and a raid on Harper's Ferry. It is interesting that they both were known for doing crazy things. Yeah. I mean, it's a little incomparable, right? Slave abolitionist, led a rebellion against Harper's Ferry, and smoked a lot of crack and told the world about it, right? Kind of, they're on two separate levels, right? Let's just go stay that. Michael, oh, that's just mean. What is spin.com back when they were mean spirited? I like it. Most people know Michael Jackson for being the king of pop, one of the biggest icons of music and pop culture, and his legacy lives on today. Many people know that throughout his life, he completely changed his look. Yeah, it's a real bummer. From many nose jobs to lightening his skin, he looked like a different person compared to the early days in his career. Maybe his look was inspired by this ancient Egyptian bust. God. What a dick move there. Jeez Louise. I mean, it is a striking striking resemblance. It is. It's unfortunate. And Jay-Z. Oh, wow. Yeah. I mean, it's kind of a shitty picture, but that does look like Jay-Z, doesn't it? Jay-Z might actually be a time traveler based on the looks of this picture. The picture on the right was taken in Harlem in 1939 and looks like a filtered photo of Jay-Z. That might be, yeah. Jay-Z's from Brooklyn, yeah. So he might as well be the same person. I don't know. That's interesting. I mean, when you got that much money, right, you can stage a photographer to do something like that, right? I don't know why he would, but yeah, that's pretty crazy. Macy Williams. I don't know who Macy Williams is. Game of Thrones. Oh, okay. So that's why I don't know. I don't watch anything that anybody else watches. I stray from all the popular kids stuff. This show plays with space and time, so it only makes sense that Williams has a twin from the past. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, from the 1930s. Yeah, I mean, I guess kind of there, right? Face is a little bit more, you know, thicker. Chuck Norris. Okay, now we're kind of pushing it a little bit. Who did this again? Vincent Van Gogh. Okay. Not afraid of anything, and Vincent Van Gogh cut his own ear off as he is probably not afraid of anything either. Well, that's, I guess, maybe probably true. I don't know. That's a bit of a stretch, all right? That and the Michael Jackson bust. Jennifer Lawrence. Oh, shit. Wow, that's pretty crazy. At first glance, the right photo looks like Jennifer Lawrence is playing a role in a black and white movie, but it is actually Egyptian actress Zubade Tharwat. Tharwat had a long and successful career, and Lawrence is following that direction. She has already a long list of roles she has played and continues to impress everyone on and off screen. Yeah, no, she's definitely a pretty awesome actress. That is pretty similar, though. Wow, that's pretty crazy. That one gets me. That's a bit better than the Van Gogh painting. There's Keanu with his Paul Monet. Yeah, pretty similar. Yeah. Matthew McConaughey. Wow, yeah, that looks really close. See, that's just Matthew McConaughey with a funky mustache. Damn. Okay, so Matthew McConaughey didn't actually say that, but we assume he would if he knew that a Reddit user's great-great-grandfather looked just like him. Maybe it is a Back to the Future situation, and Matthew went back in time, took this picture, and then came back to the present day. That is the only logical explanation. I like vampires much more. That's why I did a stream about it. But that's pretty close. That's pretty similar. Jimmy Kimmel. That's definitely a woman, isn't it? Yeah. I mean, Jimmy's definitely got a feminine way to him, although I wouldn't say it's in the way he looks, but his humor is raunchy yet hilarious. His show is why he's successful. His jokes probably wouldn't be as well liked or understood if he was performing them as his Victoria era lookalike. Doesn't say if that's a woman or not, but I feel like that's a woman, right? Yeah, I mean, it's close. It's similar. Throw a beard on her, shave the hair off, and wham, bam, thank you, ma'am. You got Jimmy Kimmel. Jack Black. See, we already, I don't know about that one, right? Don't see a whole lot of resemblance there. Who is this? Some guy from the Revolutionary War. Oh, Paul Revere. Oh, well, yeah, I mean, I guess that is some guy from the Revolutionary War. Kind of a big deal. Just a tiny bit, right? I don't know about that, though. I thought that woman looked a lot more like Jack Black. John Travolta, see what I mean? Right? We went over this picture. That does look a lot like him. They even got a funky chin thing happening right there. I know back in the day, the girls all loved the John Travolta chin look, whatever's happening there, like little dimple chin with the thingy that, he's kind of got the same dimple chin thingy going on there, right? More of a dead eye look, though, right? Like he could be dead when they took this photograph. Alec Baldwin. Whoa, shut the fuck up. No way. That is crazy. Alec Baldwin is not unfamiliar with impersonating presidents, but he probably hasn't taken a shot at acting as his doppelganger, U.S. President Millard Fillmore. Fillmore was the 13th president of the United States. What would Fillmore think of Alec Baldwin's president impersonations? That's fucking crazy. Man, that definitely looks like Alec Baldwin. I mean, Alec Baldwin on a bad day, right? Like, Alec Baldwin ate a little too much. But, damn, that is fucking crazy. Dave Franco. Oh, wow. That's pretty close. Let's see. Was someone's uncle, and we hope his children also look like Dave Franco. Wow. Yeah, that's pretty close. Okay. All right. Matt Damon. Oh, wow. I wonder if that's just an angle thing, though, right? Like sometimes you'll get an angle on somebody and they'll look exactly like somebody else, and they turn around and it's like, oh, Matt Damon is a successful actor, has played many roles, yada yada. From the looks of it, it seems he got stuck in the past at one point and got married while he was there. Somebody's parents' wedding photo from the 1960s. Yeah, wow, that's pretty crazy. Very similar. Paul Giamatti. I always Paul Giamatti, man, is such a goofy looking dude. I mean, look at that big ass fucking seven head right there, dude. That is crazy. It's looked like he put on half a bald cap, just half of one. Cut the bald cap in half and slurped it, stuck it right on there, just to fuck with everybody. I mean, this guy, that's what they're pointing at is the baldness. That's what they really gotta like. Oh, he's got kind of the bug eyes, right? A little bit. Kind of got the sunken in chin look going on, the no chin thing going on. Paul Giamatti has had many different roles throughout his acting career. He is a good actor. He has played many historical figures, but has only acted in a Shakespeare play once. Oh, that's Shakespeare. Oh, wow. Geesh. Okay. I did not know. I was not picturing that. I guess I never knew what I was picturing when I pictured Shakespeare. I don't think I've ever pictured Shakespeare, to be honest with you. The only thing is a hoop earring. Yeah. Yeah, receding hairline. Yeah, they unfortunately both got that going on. Funny story, I have a cousin who back in the day he looked just like Jim Brewer, the comedian. Okay, and if you don't know what he looks like, you can look up a picture of him. He's a real funny guy. I had a cousin that have a cousin that looks, I say had because he used to look like Jim Brewer. I mean, he was like a fucking cookie cutter of Jim Brewer. The first time I saw Jim Brewer on a Half Baked with Dave Chappelle, awesome stoner movie if you've ever seen it, I was like, that's my fucking cousin. Like, wow, holy shit, that's exactly like him. See, another doppelganger story. This just keeps happening to me. And then my cousin got old and he got bald. He hit his 30s. And I hadn't seen him in years. And I come back for a family reunion and he walks in and I'm like, is that Paul Giamatti? And it was my fucking cousin. And I was like, wow, you went from Jim Brewer to Paul Giamatti in like 10 fucking years. That's unfortunate, bro. It's been a rough one for you, I guess. And then last time I saw him, he doesn't look like either of these two guys. Last time I saw him, I didn't even recognize him. He like walked in and like shook my hand and gave me a hug, and I'm like, "Who's this fucking guy that's like hugging me and shit?" And it was like, "Oh, that's your cousin, the one that used to look like Paul Giamatti, that used to look like Jim Brewer." All right, Shia LaBeouf. Shia LaBeouf. Not only do Shia LaBeouf and Albert Einstein look alike. Oh wow, but they were both slightly crazy. Yeah, a little bit. That is kind of interesting. I mean, they look close. I guess you never see pictures of Albert Einstein when he's young, right? You only see him when he's old with the gray, crazy hair. Because that's the quintessential Einstein look, right? But yeah, young Einstein kind of looked like a young Shia LaBeouf. Justin Timberlake. Oh shit! Wow, yeah, man, a pissed off Justin Timberlake with a neck beard. That's what's going on there. It's gonna be me, said Justin Timberlake when he found this picture of a mystery man in the 1800s. Timberlake is a singer-songwriter, actor, dancer, and producer. He is a jack of all trades, but his look-alike was not as good of a person. Uh-oh. Yeah, he looks like he's kind of a dick. I mean, he looks like he's pissed off right there. Picture of the 1800s man is a mugshot, and it is unclear what he did, but we can assume he was jailed for a crime of passion after his girlfriend tore up his heart. The more you look at those two pictures, they don't look similar. But if you just saw this picture alone, you'd be like, oh, God, I recognize that guy. Fuck. I don't know where he's from, though. Jimmy Fallon. Wow. I feel like they're going to tell us this is the communist Jimmy Fallon. Turkish revolutionary. Okay, I was close. Mahir Kayan, Turkish revolutionary. Fallon has spent his career as a successful comedian, while Kayan was working to change the state of politics in Turkey. Man, they look very similar, though, don't they? Oh, I smell pork. Cutie Pie must be up. She must be making her. Must have got her some. Oh, what does she call it? Well, she makes really good pork. Kahlua pork. It's a Hawaiian thing, and it's delicious. I can definitely smell it in the air, all the way down here. Okay, Johnny Depp. Oh, wow. Yeah, that's pretty close. Wow, that's really close. When you do it with that photo, got the sunken in Ozempic face right there. I mean, this guy pulls it off a little better. This is looking a little rough, Johnny. But got the forehead, little pencil stash going on. Who is this guy? A photo of some Redditor's family member. All right. Yeah, I got the chiseled jawline too. Nicolas Cage. Yeah, of course, totally. Went over, definitely seen that one. Mark Zuckerberg. Oh, wow. Mark Zuckerberg with lip fillers. Man, if you thought Mark Zuckerberg couldn't get any goofier, then there's this fucking guy. King Philip IV of Spain. Well, thank goodness he was a king, because if he wasn't, man, he would have a hard life. In an interesting way that happens to mirror Zuckerberg's distinct looks. The king was a patron of the arts, and this is how he is repaid. Hopefully, he had other paintings that make him look less like a cartoon and more like a real person. Yeah, I don't know what's going on there with the whole lips, but fuck. I'm gonna, first time I've ever thought I never thought I'd say this, but Zuckerberg definitely winning out of these two in the looks department. That's for sure. Conan O'Brien. Yeah, that looks like a pissed off Conan. Sure. Civil War guy. Okay. Marshall Harvey Twitchell was a Civil War veteran who fought in the Vermont Infantrymen. He later became a senator after the war. Oh, wow, look at him. Yeah, they got it going. It's same thing, very similar. He just looks like a more cultured and pissed off version of Conan O'Brien. Robin Williams. Oh, yeah, you kind of can see it. A little bit. Robin Williams had a long career as a comedic genius. Yeah, those qualities he looks shared with Russian zoologist, Nobel Prize winner Ila Ilik Mikhailov. I'm sure I'm fucking that up. Michnikov. Ilik Michnikov. He was a genius when it came to his studies on animals and their behavior, not so much the comedy aspect. Williams once played a role as a doctor, but that didn't go so well for him. So we will say they are both handsome geniuses in their fields. Yeah. Everybody says that, but I liked Patch Adams. I don't know what the fuck the modern day hate is for Patch Adams. Everybody's like, "You, Patch Adams." It's like, fuck you, man. That was a good movie. I kind of cried a tiny bit, a little bit, not so much, but a little. Larry David. Larry David has spent his career talking about absolutely nothing. Well, I think he just recently he talked about something. I think it was Larry David that just got all over Bill Maher's case for visiting Donald Trump in the White House. I think he had some really nasty things to say about him in a New York Times article. I think I don't know. I didn't actually read it. Um, yeah, I kind of look similar. You know, we need him to smile a little bit. I don't know why, but with the tiny glasses, it looks like he's wearing eyes on top of his eyes, right? It's kind of unsettling. Like he looks kind of got like a robot thing going on there. You know, I don't know. I never thought I'd prefer Larry David, but I prefer the original Larry David to that, right? This is like a weird, what do they call that? Uncanny Valley version of Larry David, right? And even Larry David himself is kind of fucking creepy. I mean, if you like, you know, looked under the bed and that thing was staring at you, you'd be pretty freaked out. But now you like robot his ass and ooh. Historical doppelganger William Lloyd Garrison. Garrison was an abolitionist who spoke out against slavery and women's suffrage. Although they look alike, it is safe to assume these two would not have liked each other based on the jokes Larry David makes. Yeah, probably not. No. John Krasinski. Yeah. Interesting. Yeah, I mean, I like that guy. Huge John Krasinski fan. But dang, yeah, I mean, he's got more of a longer face, you know, kind of like a horse, right? Like you're staring a horse in the face. John Krasinski's kind of got more of a bubbliness to his face, right? Maybe it's because he's smiling and he's all pissed off and serious. He's been sitting down for this fucking oil painting for 10 hours, man. He has to pee. He's like, get this over with. Identity theft is not a joke, Jim. John Krasinski is known for his role as Jim Halpert on The Office and as a hero in 13 Hours. But did you know that he also happens to look like Carl Fjellberg? Fjellberg was an Australian journalist who fought for the human rights of Aboriginal people. Not only do they have their good looks in common, but they are both heroes in their own ways. And Maggie Gyllenhaal. I think, I don't know, Gyllenhaal. Yeah, a little bit. You know, I feel like it's only in the eyes, though. This is a bad picture of her. She's a little bit older in that picture, I feel like. But was the Rose Wilder Lane, an American novelist and founding member of the libertarian movement. Oh, wow. Adrian Brody. That's doing him dirty, geez. I don't know what that guy looks like, but I don't want to look like him. Looks like what a fucking crypt keeper. Adrian Brody was the youngest person to win an Academy Award Best Actor for his role in The Pianist. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow, he is a good actor. He bears an uncanny resemblance to the most influential philosopher in history, John Locke. That's what John Locke looked like? Oh my gosh, I did not know that. Wow. Geesh, okay, I don't know what, again, I didn't know what I pictured when I pictured John Locke, you know, but I definitely didn't picture the Tale from the Crypt Keeper mixed with some kind of bird, you know, like a bird skeleton. He's a bird skeleton. John Locke, that's what that is. And Adrian Brody looks like a bird skeleton, I guess. Oh, you know, very handsome one. I think even with the big nose, the dude rocks the really long nose. He does, you know. He's a handsome dude. This guy, though, looks like he died already. He bears an uncanny resemblance to John Locke. This might trigger some conspiracy theorists of time travel, but that doesn't matter when you are linked to the father of liberalism. Yeah. Interesting. Anne Hathaway. Oh, that is too funny. I was going to say McLovin. That looks more like McLovin to me. In the early 1800s, there was a great Spanish painter who created this portrait of what appears to be a mustached Anne Hathaway. The portrait is titled The Officer, and maybe the painting was imagining what a future with Anne Hathaway and then remembered he was painting a man, so he added a mustache at the end. I don't know if I'm convinced by that one, guys. Steve Martin. I met Steve Martin. Oh, yeah. Young Steve Martin. That's an older Steve Martin. Definitely a young Steve Martin. Pretty ordinary looking celebrity. Yeah, I actually met Steve Martin. I worked in a recording studio in Los Angeles, and he has a string band. I forget the name of the fucking string band. I think it's Steve Martin String Band. Actually, I don't know how I forgot that. If that's the name, again, like I said, just smoked too much fucking weed. Steve Martin String Band, I think it was called. But anyways, he came in with his string band to get because gosh, he plays a lot. Like he plays the banjo. I think he plays guitar and a mandolin too. Not in the band. I think he just plays a banjo in the band and sings. But anyways, he came into a recording studio that I worked at to get some editing done on one of their albums. And he was not very funny. I mean, obviously because he wasn't trying to be funny. Like he didn't like come into the studio like doing his slapstick humor bullshit. That would have been really weird, to be honest. Like if he came in and started like, "Hey, got your fucking nose," it'd have been like, "Whoa, dude." Like I get it, you're Steve Martin, but this is weird. Too much in the bubble. But and a burp. He was very like on point and very business orientated. Probably one of the most business orientated artists I've ever met. Where he had like a schedule, he had like time frames. They were there. I only think they were there for like 2 or 3 days. But the 2 or 3 days he was there, man, it was like boom, everything had to be done on the hour by the end of the hour, right? If something pushed his schedule back, because he was a busy guy too. This was in LA and he must have had a lot going on at the time. I don't think it was any movie related stuff, but he had meetings he had to go to. He had phone calls all throughout the day. He had a schedule where his phone calls were like timed by like 15-minute intervals. It was pretty wild, man. Like, so he was very business orientated, no fuck around. And honestly, he was so intense. When we heard Steve Martin was coming in, we had a kid who worked at his name was Luke Walker, and everybody called him Luke Skywalker. And so Skywalker was kind of a Joker kind of kid, right? He had not like the Joker, but, he had a very joking personality, very lighthearted, liked to have fun, and liked to tell jokes. He was a funny kid. And I remember him saying, like, "Oh, man, I got some real zingers, man. I'm going to fucking tell him to Steve Martin, man. I'm going to tell him my jokes, and he's going to use them in his comedy." Like, he wasn't, like, a huge Steve Martin fan, but he was still like, "Oh, yeah, man, I got some good jokes for this guy." Because Steve Martin was a famous comedian before he was a famous actor. And Steve Martin was so intense. I remember asking Skywalker after the session, I was like, "Did you ever get to tell him, Steve Martin, your jokes?" And he said, "Nah, dude, he scared me too much." He came in and he was too fucking scary, and I didn't want to tell him no jokes, dude. Like, I was scared that he wouldn't laugh or he'd get in my face. And I was like, "Oh, yeah, no, I got the same hit, dude." I was like waiting to see, if you told him a joke and he flipped out on you because he was just so business oriented. He wasn't an asshole. He wasn't mean. He was just about his business, man. He was no fuck around kind of guy, which is so opposite of his on screen present where he's like just telling fart jokes, right? Like, that's his thing. So, but anyway, who is this guy in the funny hat? Um, oh, that isn't a person. That is a woman, or not a dude. That is a woman in a funny hat. Oh, well, I guess yeah. Could have seen that. Could have picked that out. If she didn't look like Steve Martin. Could have fooled me, I guess. George Carlin. Yeah, that's an old moonshiner George Carlin. That's what that is. Not a good picture of George Carlin. This is him with his beard. They got some shit pictures for this article. And the whole point was to show their doppelgangerness, but they should have picked George Martin or George Carlin with the beard, and you would definitely see it. That definitely looks like George Carlin. Charles Darwin. Wow, that's Charles Darwin. He looks like a moonshining motherfucker. That guy looks like he would get drunk with you on whiskey that would make you blind. Wow, crazy. I'll be damned. Look at that. Glenn Close. Oh, I don't see that one. I mean, that's a bit. Yeah, I think they're just trying to be funny there, but I do not see that whatsoever. No. Glenn Close, I've seen her in a few movies. There is a couple movies where, depending on how she's dressed up, she can have a manliness to her for sure. But I'm not seeing that face anywhere in there. That one escapes me. Maybe I'm just don't know. Tom Hiddleston. Yeah, I'm not getting that Tom Hiddleston vibes from this neither. They're kind of pushing it now. Better end this quick. How many do we have more? 5 more. Okay, well, they're definitely pushing shit now. Yeah, Bruce Willis. Who is this guy now? General Douglas MacArthur. Nah, I don't see it. Kind of, I guess, but, maybe in like the lips, kind of. Don't know there, though. They've lost the plot on this. Yeah, they've lost the plot. That does not look like Jon Stewart at all. I mean, that looks like Jon Stewart got hit in the forehead with a hammer, right? That looks like the John version of Jon Stewart that needs to wear a helmet when he takes a shit, right? If you know what I'm saying, right? So I don't know about that. Doesn't fit for me neither. Hugh Grant. Oh, wow, they are just throwing some shit out there. That does not look like Hugh Grant at all to me. Man, these last few are just horrible, man. They are fucking losing the plot here. Tommy Lee Jones. See, now, that doesn't look like Tommy Lee Jones to me. That looks like Gleason. What is his name? The Irish actor from Gangs of New York. In Bruges. Something Gleason. That looks more like him than Tommy Lee Jones. Oh, that was the summit. Andrew Johnson. Oh, wow. Okay. Andrew Garfield. Yeah, same thing, dude. That does not look like Andrew Garfield to me. You know what that looks like is a young Ross from Friends. That's what that more looks like. I mean, maybe that's just the hair going on. What's going on with Andrew Garfield's hair over here? He needs to do something with that. Yeah, I don't know. Not seeing it. Okay, well, they were really stretching there at the end, right? Kind of like me with this stream. Really stretching to make that article as big as they could, that's for sure. But yeah, this celebrity doppelganger thing is actually a very common thing, as a matter of fact, right? So, not to spoil the mood on the vampirism happening, but yeah, unfortunately, it isn't. It's pretty common for people to have family members that look like celebrities. You know, my family tells everybody they're related to Conor McGregor, so don't piss them off. But yeah, these people, you know, here's some more lookalikes just to run through. Emma Watson, which these lookalikes are fucking striking. Like, I had to hit down into the comments and be like, okay, who the fuck actually is this? Because this actually looks like a scene in a movie, even. I mean, with the hair and everything, that looks like it comes straight out of a movie. Uh, you know, so some of these, this is Ellen Norton. Yeah. Ellen Norton. See, that's crazy. Or is that, see, I don't even know which picture is supposed to be Emma Watson. I honestly don't. Is that Emma Watson and that's Ellen Norton? I have no fucking idea. See, these ones are just ridiculous. See, now there you go. That's a Van Gogh lookalike. See, Chuck Norris be damned. That guy just popped straight out of the fucking painting. He's even got the wavy ass cheekbone thing going on here. See that? How the head kind of like does a little squiggly there? This dude, squiggly head, man. Crazy. That guy's a dead ringer. Ed Sheeran. Yeah, see, that's crazy, right? Because that's the real Ed Sheeran over here, right? That dude, fuck. He's even got the messy hair. That's crazy. I saw a YouTube video about this guy once. He fools everybody. He got into some pretty fancy parties and stuff. He is almost identical, though. Yeah, that is fucking crazy. So insanely accurate, dude. But yeah, apparently YouTube videos about this guy getting into parties because he looks like Ed Sheeran. Look at this, Mariah Carey. That is pretty fucking crazy, dude. I'm assuming that's Mariah Carey, right? But damn, that is an insane lookalike. Yeah, see, I would totally believe that. If somebody said, oh, that's Mariah Carey, I'd be like, yeah, that totally looks like just two pictures of her. This article could be complete horseshit. See, look at that. That is fucking ridiculous. Two pictures, that is, yeah, are you sure they're different people, right? This person has to ask, dude, like, look at the similarities. That's absolutely crazy. This is just like she is just an older version of herself. Yes, she's real. Here's her Instagram. Wow, they even got the Instagram popped up on here. See, you have to go to the comments for this one. This is on boardpanda.com. Thank God. See, okay, here's another one, dude. That is so fucking crazy, Bruce Willis. I don't know what that other article was trying to do, but that right there is Bruce Willis, man. Can't tell me it's not. That's so fucking crazy. He looks more like Bruce Willis than Bruce Willis does. Yeah. Yeah, see, that's so crazy. Does anyone know who this guy is? Yeah, somebody has to name the doppelganger. Otherwise, that might just be two pictures of Bruce Willis. Even look like they were almost taken on the same day, right? Same glasses. You see, looks like they have the same glasses. This article might be complete horseshit. I don't know. You see that picture and I'm like, All right, now look at that. Dude, that's Rihanna. Give me a break. That's Rihanna. Come on. Yeah. Priscilla Beatrice is her name. Yeah, but this is the internet. You could have just made that shit up, bro. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, well, at least this one, they're both standing right next to each other, right? So you can't really. I mean, AI nowadays can do some pretty crazy shit. But, I mean, they look close enough, right? Look like Keanu Reeves. Wow, okay, so this one definitely blew my fucking nine, right? That's the look-alike. That's Keanu Reeves. That's pretty fucking crazy. I think there's enough there to see that it's a different person, right? But damn, they look so much alike. Yeah, he looks like Keanu's older brother. Like he's slightly different than Keanu Reeves, right? Really hand, yeah, yada yada yada. That's crazy. Okay, yeah. Yeah, again, both those guys look the same. Kit Harington. I'm sure that if I say I don't know who he is, somebody's gonna be like, "What?" But I don't know who the fuck he is. Um, this one was crazy. Yeah, look alike Britney Spears. So this, I think, is actually Britney Spears, and that's the look-alike taking a picture. So yeah, Derek Barry, a drag queen, and Britney impersonator. How crazy is that? No, it's Ashley Pitzer. There's multiples. So it's Ashley Pitzer. Just click the same de la same below the photo. That leads you to source image for every post. Oh, well, thanks to this fella, does look like guy arms. Yeah, that's crazy. Apparently, source for each photo. Personator. This didn't send us to a claim. Or this didn't give us source. This just gave us another claim. I mean, that's pretty crazy. They did a good job. Okay, hold on. I got to go back up to the Bruce Willis thing then. And Rihanna. We need to check on Rihanna. What the fuck's going on with that? Out my face. Oh, here we go. Okay. Oh, yeah. Oh, wow. That's fucking crazy. So he is a Bruce Willis impersonator. That was him taking photographs of people. Okay, now we got to do Rihanna, and then I'll stop. Then I'll stop. But this was too much. So this is her. Oh, that's being an impersonator of someone you love and admire. Okay, so that's, yeah, her doing the actual impersonation. Man, that is fucking crazy, isn't it? All right. Craziness. Yeah. So, long story short, whole point of all this, right? Oh, there's that Maisie Williams that I didn't know who she was before. Sean Mendez, I've heard that name. Yeah, this is crazy. This one got me. Colin Farrell. That guy looks like a shredded Colin Farrell. Look at that. I mean, that's actual Colin Farrell. I feel like the ladies probably want that guy more, right? Even's got the fucking hair thing going on. Colin Farrell is on the sauce, right? His lookalike is on steroids. His Colin Farrell and Jason Momoa had a baby. Oh, that's funny. These muscles are terrible. What? Downvote for that, Daniela. Oh, well, I'm not going to log in to downvote you. You're lucky. Geesh. Daniela, hard to impress. Arms are terrible. Kidding me? Okay, who is this guy? Most people believe I'm him. Colin Farrell look-alike. Okay, well, I don't know. That's just one picture of the dude, right? But that's pretty fucking crazy, man. Wow. All right. So, anyways, we got to get out of that, right? Because we're just going to spend all day long looking at these different celebrities. Angelina Jolie, Lady Gaga. That's pretty close. Yeah. Neil Patrick Harris. Kind of. Yeah. I mean, pretty similar. Bella did. Vin Diesel. That looks like an older Vin Diesel is what that looks like. George Michael. Okay, all right. I got to put it away. I could spend too much fucking time doing that shit. All right. So yeah, that was just to illustrate that the celebrity doppelganger isn't just a historical thing. It does happen in real life too. So realistically, this conspiracy theory, yeah, I'm giving it a thumbs down. I don't think it's true. I don't think that Nic Cage is a vampire. I don't think there's anything spectacularly crazy going on here, other than we all have doppelgangers, and sometimes our doppelgangers just happen to be more famous than us. So, unfortunate luck of the draw, I guess, right? Anyways, let's see here. Oh yeah, so this right here. Now, Nicolas Cage probably isn't a vampire. Neither is John Travolta. Neither is Keanu Reeves or any other people that I just showed you. There has been a lot of people in the past who have been accused of vampires. And when it happened to them, they didn't exactly get to go on Conan O'Brien or whatever the fuck ever and make funny jokes about it. Some people were believed throughout history for a very long time to be vampires. So here's 10 actual real people who they were believed to be vampires. Tracy Wigginton in 1965. Wow. Oh, I was not expecting that to be so recent. Usually, when people are claimed to be vampires, it's way back in the day, but not 1965. So, this is a woman from Australia who was accused with three others in a murder of a man in 1989. Oh, that's the year I was born. Winnington, her then girlfriend Lisa Patishki, well, whatever, and two other women lured a 47-year-old man to a park at night. Winnington proceeded to stab the man 27 times. Ooh, geez. According to Patishki, they already allegedly did the crime in order to drink his blood, and as a result, Wingington has been dubbed the lesbian vampire killer. Well, I don't know if that's points for creativity or not. I feel like that was an easy one. They pretty much just gave it to you, right? They're lesbians and they claim to drink blood. You're like, lesbian vampire, I'm brilliant. Wingington pled guilty and was sentenced to life imprisonment. While in prison, she assaulted a fellow inmate and a prison guard. In 2012, Wigington. See, okay, it went from Winnington to Wigington. It's Wigington. We're going with Wigington. Now on crutches, was released from prison. Earlier, Paczynski was rumored to be released in 2008, but those rumors were later dismissed as false. Okay, we need to research since this website, fucking computer, fucking pictures aren't going to load. Let's just see what this lesbian vampire killer looks like. Hmm. I was honestly going to say, she looks more like somebody who would scream at a Starbucks barista for putting too many shots of espresso in her drink or giving her the wrong venti instead of a grande, right? But it turns out she actually drinks blood. Okay, well, fair enough. Got to be careful. Sometimes it's the person you least expect. The Vampire Clan. The Vampire Clan consisted of teenagers who claimed to be vampires. The group included Howard Scott Anderson, Dana Cooper, Roderick Justin Farrell, and Charity Kesey. I feel like there is a whole lot of teenagers who have done this before, so this is kind of, not such big news. The group were companions of Heather Wendorf, whose parents the male teens had murdered. Oh, okay, well, that makes it unique. That makes it a little bit different than your regular teens. They also burned a V mark in Heather's father's body. Ooh. Why? Well, Farrell claimed he was actually a 500-year-old vampire named Visago. Farrell, who was convicted of felony murder, burglary, and armed robbery, was sentenced to life without parole. Probably a good decision. That's probably a win for the court system, yeah? Anderson received the same sentence. The girls received different sentences as they were apparently not at the house when Heather's parents were murdered. Kesey was sentenced to 10.5 years in prison for 2 counts of third-degree murder, robbery with a gun or deadly weapon, and burglary armed with weapon or explosives. Cooper was convicted of the same charges as Kesey, but received a prison sentence of 17.5 years instead. Oh, well, how did they get... how are they not charged? How are they charged with murder, burglary, and maybe that's what third degree murder is. Robbery. How are they charged with robbery and burglary if they weren't at the house, right? Wouldn't it be aiding and abetting instead? I don't know. That's interesting. I don't know about that shit. The vampire rapist. Wow. If you didn't think vampires or rapists were bad enough, now you got both. Wayne Bowden. Oh, yeah. I think he was a serial killer, right? Known victims included Shirley Audet, Marielle Archambault, Jean Way, and Elizabeth Ann Porteous. The 4 attacks occurred in Canada from 1969 to 71. Bowden was convicted and imprisoned for his crimes. In 1977, he briefly escaped from prison before being recaptured. Oh, well, that's good. Fuck. He died in 2006 from skin cancer. Oh, well, that's probably appropriate. Good. Oh, you know, a little bit of karma in the world. Not sure if it was because of sunlight. Oh, like a vampire, right? I mean, in the movies, it's a lot quicker, but maybe the movies are just exaggerating, right? Who knows? Contemporaneous with Bowden, albeit in the United States rather than Canada, was another vampire rapist. Wow, there's 2 of them. Gosh, holy shit. John Brennan Crutchley has been nicknamed the Florida vampire rapist. He was convicted of kidnapping and sexual battery, for which he was sentenced to life in prison. Crutchley is a known rapist, but also suspected serial killer. Oh, that's who I was thinking of. Okay. He may have been involved in various disappearances, including the unsolved case concerning sisters Catherine Mary Leon, age 10, and Sheila, age 12. What a fucker. Man, that's horrible. Jeesh. Why the vampire, though? What's the deal with the vampire? I almost want to look it up to see why, and I almost don't, right? Like, I really kind of don't want to hear the stories. That might be maybe for a Terrifying Tuesday, you know, with the big ass warning beforehand. Richard Chase, dubbed the Vampire of Sacramento for drinking his victim's blood. See, okay, well, they told us that, right? You know, but the other 2, they didn't let us know. Maybe because it was pretty nasty. Chase was convicted murderer before he committed suicide by overdose of prison doctor-prescribed antidepressants. His first murder was most likely a drive-by shooting, but his later crimes included cannibalism. Ooh. One of his victims was even 3 months pregnant at the time, and he shot her 3 times. Oh, that's horrible. Gosh, jeez. I didn't know this article, this stream took a real dark fucking turn, man. You know, I was just going to joke about the fucking Nicolas Cage with the funny head, but the vampires of Germany. For some bizarre reason, 2 separate individuals contemporaneous with each other both participated in vampire-like crimes in Germany in the 1920s. Known as the Vampire of Dusseldorf, oh, I've heard of him, Peter Curtin, killed from 9 to 60 people, attempted to murder 7 others, and sexually assaulted an unknown number of people. Possibly even worse was a man known as the Vampire of Hanover. This individual, Fritz Harman, killed at least 24 to 27 people before he was executed by guillotine at age 45 in 1925. Of the vampire killers of the 20th century, Harman was the most confirmed victims, which is why he ranks so highly on this list. Nikola Tesla. We go from vampire lesbians and vampire rapists to Nikola fucking Tesla. Okay, what did he do to get this on this list? Tesla, as well as other top 4 names on this list, are without a doubt more household names than the criminals listed above. As such, they appear higher in the rankings, although they are less likely to have been historic vampires in the sense of ever drinking anyone else's blood. That reality has not stopped everyone from authors to filmmakers to portray them as vampires in well-known aspects of popular culture. So, just as assuredly as Abe Lincoln was probably not really hunting vampires, nor were these individuals acting like vampires either. Regardless, in the Canadian television series Sanctuary, the famed Serbian-American scientist and inventor is a recurring character and a vampire. Well, that's a giant fucking dud. They're saying, oh, he might have been a vampire because TV said so. Bro, I know we're on the internet, but damn, who is this top10s.net? Well, I guess what you get, right? I mean, I'm not going to say I expected a whole lot from top 10s, but Billy the Kid. In real life, Billy was an infamous outlaw in the Wild West, yeah, and Blood Rain 2 we're citing video games now. Or is this a movie? I don't know. Oh my God, this is a movie. I know this movie. This is that Bolt guy, the Russian director who is so horrible. They just keep giving him money. So yes. Okay, so yeah, basically this is just a movie. Said he was Salam. Oh, Salame. We're gonna go with Salame. His name is Salame. is the oldest historical figure to appear on the list and thus ranks quite high. She is already a sort of villainous seductress in the Bible. Historically, she may have performed the dance of the 7 veils of King Herod Antipas, who had married her mother Herodias. Herodias was previously married to Herod II, the father of Salome and half-brother of Herod Antipas. According to ancient sources, the dance was pleasing enough that the king offered his niece a choice of reward for her performance. Her mother then urged her daughter to ask for John the Baptist's head on a platter as punishment for his criticisms of Herod's marriage with Herodias. The king agreed. She appeared as a vampire first in the book Dead as a Doornail as the owner of a casino. Okay, in the HBO Supernatural series True Blood. Okay, she holds a high position as Chancellor of the Vampire. Okay, well. So she was featured in a bunch more movies as a vampire. Elizabeth Bathory. Oh, well, thank God, finally. Now there's somebody who... And Vlad the Impaler, right? So Elizabeth Bathory, the so-called Blood Countess, could be the worst female serial killer of all time, but that is if the legends about her are indeed true. She was alleged to have killed between 80 and 650 people. That's quite a range, right? Like, they were just like, let's just throw it at the dartboard. Her antagonists claim that she started after getting a servant's blood on her and thinking it might made her skin look younger. Then she reportedly would shower or bathe in the blood of young peasant girls as some kind of perverse fountain of youth. But were all these rumors true? Some have actually suggested that she was framed. We can probably safely agree she really was not a vampire, at least. She was a powerful woman in a misogynistic time. There was also a Protestant whose primary political opponents were Catholics. Moreover, a supposed diary of hers has yet to be examined by historians. As such, the truth behind her legend is still not entirely clear, yet she continues to be depicted as a vampire killer in popular culture. Yeah, I mean, that's been going on for a while. I don't know if we're going to go ahead and just blame that one on misogyny. That's a little out there. But, yeah, I did know that there was kind of a question if she did it or not. Vlad the Impaler, okay. As with Blood Countess, many of the more lurid allegations against Vlad come from a bit later than in his lifetime or from potentially biased sources. For example, the oft-reproduced woodcut that has even appeared on t-shirts, showing Vlad dining amongst a veritable fortress of impaled victims, dates from 1499, more than 20 years after Vlad's death. Later in the 1800s, author Bram Stoker fully transformed Vlad into the vampire known as Dracula in his book of the same name. Yada yada. The historical Dracula, the name means son of the dragon, was certainly involved in military campaigns, but whether he was a bad guy as he has been made out in popular culture is debatable to say the least. Yet, he is believed responsible for 40,000 to 100,000 deaths, numbers that far surpass anyone else mentioned on this list even combined. Vampires have remained a major aspect of Romanian culture, and more recently, communist dictator Nicolae something was nicknamed Vampirescu by Romanians for economic policies that sucked the country dry during 25 years of rule. Okay, well, that's nice. They got their kicks in there at least. So there you have it. 10 people who were actually accused of being vampires in their day and age. We're landing on that page because there wasn't a whole lot to go over in the Nicolas Cage conspiracy theory. Not gonna lie, I can't deny it. But it was still really fun to go over. I thought that was a hilarious conspiracy theory. I can't believe that actually was a thing at one point. So I had to include it, right? Like I said, these conspiracy theory Thursdays aren't my favorite days of the weeks, just because I'm not a huge conspiracy theorist, but I'm trying. I'm putting what together. That one I just thought was very entertaining, so sue me, all right? It just happens. But that wraps it up for us tonight. I think we hit almost the full 2 hours, enough for me, and I'm getting hungry. I've been fasting all day for the most part, so I'm starving. I'm gonna go get up some of that sexy Kahlua pork that my cutie pie just got done cooking. I can still smell it in the air, and it's beckoning me, so I'm gonna go get me some of that. But still, to anybody who watched this on YouTube, if you're still watching, I really appreciate you spending your time here to watch me go over all the different vampire conspiracies of Hollywood. My beard has just been crazy all day. I need to cut it. It's time to cut the beard, man. But I appreciate you tuning in and watching, and if you like the content, please like and subscribe. If you enjoy conspiracy theory content, I have a few other videos on my YouTube channel that I had already mentioned. Next Thursday, when we do Conspiracy Theory Thursdays, we're going to be going over the JFK files. So For those of you who haven't seen the JFK files yet, don't look at them yet, because we're gonna go over everything about JFK, his assassination, his effect the assassination had on the world, odd details surrounding his assassination. We're gonna lightly touch on what all the conspiracy theories are, because there's about 4 or 5 different ones. So we're gonna at least give you the basis for that, so you know what it is. And then we're gonna go into the JFK files, what they actually are, what was promised in them, and then what was delivered, because they were just recently delivered. So I thought this was a good modern day conspiracy theory for us to catch up on. So that'll be happening next Thursday at 7 p.m. for our next Conspiracy Theory Thursday. Tomorrow is Film Buff Fridays. Drum roll, because you can't hear the drum roll probably, but I did a drum roll for you. You'll just have to imagine you heard it. Film Buff Fridays are my favorite days of the week, maybe behind Terrifying Tuesdays. Really enjoy Film Buff Fridays. I don't know how I'm going to feel about tomorrow. We're going to see how it turns out. Usually I have a pretty fun time, but tomorrow, at least one day of every month, I'm dedicating a day to learning some form of film theory. I myself am not a film theorist. I did not go to film school. I mean, I did go to film school, but I got kicked out. And that's another story for another time. But didn't stick long enough around to learn about any film theory. So we're learning film theory together. That's what I'm doing every Friday on my channel, is learning about film theory. So tomorrow for Film Buff Fridays at 7 p.m., we're going to kick that off learning about auteur theory. All right. So we're going to learn what auteur theory is, what are the main concepts of auteur theory, some examples of auteur directors, the history of auteur theory itself, a list of best film theorists that practice auteur theory, or the list of the film theorists that were most prevalent to auteur theory, criticisms against the theory, the aftermath of the theory, because it's kind of an old theory. And then we're going to practice a little bit of auteur theory using videos. If you're interested and intrigued by that, and if you enjoy movies, then please tune in tomorrow at 7 p.m. To anybody who did watch the stream tonight, if you're still watching the stream, then thank you for watching the stream. That includes you, Cutie Pie, if you're out there watching. I really appreciate you doing so. Yeah, thanks for tuning in. And if you like it, please give me a follow. If you're on YouTube, please like and subscribe if you enjoy the content. Check out some of my other content, and maybe consider coming over to Twitch to come chill with me and have some conversations, right? Because as much fun as it is to talk about this sort of shit, especially Nic Cage vampires, it's much funner to do it with other people. So that's really the whole reason that I'm on a live stream, is because I wanted to hang out with others and talk about this stuff while I'm researching. So please tune in if you feel like it. Come say hi and have a conversation. Talk some shit. We'll make fun of all the goofy looking celebrity lookalikes that we find, right? So until then, hopefully I'll see you tomorrow or next week. And if not, well, we'll just say I'll see you then, right? But in the meantime, you guys have a wonderful rest of your night, and I will see you then. Peace.